I don't know if you can really make an impact in this life if you haven't been through some deep waters.
Right.
I think that's where empathy comes from. How do you sit across a table from someone and talk about, some of your greatest guests, your biggest guests have seen some stuff you and I couldn't even comprehend.
True.
And when they speak on that, the only way that they're able to sit next to these folks, these leaders of nations and countries, and articulate it is because they've treaded deep waters.
Yes. Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
That's where I feel like I have felt that everything has served me until this point right now.
I mean, that's literally the definition of like, because as we were saying before, right? There's people who have that shitty experience in their life and they use it as a crutch, right? Yep. Meaning life is happening to them, right? But then there's the other way where people go through the shit and they say life is happening for me. I see everything as what has helped me get to where I am today, right? And that is the biggest determining factor.
It's a difference
in who's going to make it or not,
it's
right?
A difference.
Because, dude, what you're saying, life's hell.
Oh, it's tough.
Right? And just because we have different stories, like you know, that's one hell of a story, right? You like we're not gonna, it's been fun. Apples down. I don't know about that, right? But but everyone deals with shit, right? Everyone goes through something, whether it's cancer, whether it's, incarceration, whether it's, financially, whether it's family. It could be so many things, right? Life never, ever, ever, ever stops causing pain.
No.
It's just the difference of how do you deal with that pain, right? I think there's so many people trying to live a life without pain. Life is pain. You will never not live a life without pain. A little joint pain here and there, little mental fatigue.
All the above.
Everything.
Yeah.
You're going to live a life of pain. So you either learn, I'm so glad you're saying this because I was literally having this thought 2 days ago. The art of pushing through the pain is a lost art today. And especially I see it in my generation, the younger generation, the second they encounter that pain, little adversity, it's time to back away, trying to find different paths.
Buzzwords.
Yeah, exactly.
Depression.
There you go.
Anxious.
Exactly.
Nervous.
Yes, all these things,
all
right?
The
and then we think, oh, it's okay. You got that. Now it's time to take a step back and relax. No, that's the time when you're supposed to push forward. It's a lost art that we just forget that, you're supposed to push through pain. You're going to have pain, right? And we're talking here about some serious pain.
Yeah.
Because,
bro, I've got every reason in the world to be on tomorrow's episode of Jerry Springer.
You'd think so, right?
Right?
Right? That's true.
It's true.
I mean, how many people, because we're talking about incarceration, that's something that you're very heavily with. How many of them are usually end up there because of that, how it was in their family growing up?
8 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
At least, right?
Correct. Very high numbers.
Yes.
And so it's very interesting, right? So you looked at it. And so what I was able to do, Dad was very, 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 very smart, very intelligent, very wise, if you will. And then Mom just wanted to make sure we did everything the right way. And so I thought, you know what? In my life, and you'll know this, you'll look back on this in a few years when you have little kids. This is what I said. If I have enough time, I can figure anything out. That was my factor right there. And so I was like, I can't let somebody or some corporation or something dominate my time. Or else I can't figure out this fatherhood thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And that's where I was like, okay, this has to be this is my guiding value right here, time. And so that's how I started to structure everything. How do I build enough time into my day, my week, my month, my year to really not go into the grave with that 6-letter word we call regret? How many people, you know them, I know them, we all know them, the guys that have no reason to cry. They've got a great 6-7-figure life, white picket fence, a wife that still wants to sleep with them when they're 40 pounds overweight, 4 kids that aren't idiots and are well adjusted, and they're miserable.
Right.
Miserable.
Yep.
No reason in the world. Bro, I walk into prisons every single week and have guys look at me who are lifers who are never getting out, and they tell me I'm the luckiest guy in the yard. That deep water, when you have the guy at 6 figures who never had adversity at 12, 13, 16, 19, shows up when he's 43, and he's not having the conversations with his sons that needs to be had to change a generation. You are going to have tough times. You are going to get knocked down. You are going to get beat up mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all different ways. How you react to it, that's how you change your life.
Well, I mean, you're talking about creating that life, creating that freedom, creating a life based on what you saw growing up, right? That was total horseshit, right? But here's what's funny, a little side note on that. You're talking about your dad being the most intelligent man. Honestly, just put it in the wrong direction.
That's it.
Right? Because Elon Musk even said a lot of drug dealers, a lot of gang members are the best entrepreneurs in the world, right?
Bro.
They just misdirect it, right? And that's kind of what you're doing. You work with these people and you're helping them redirect their real skill sets that they have, whether it's working with people, managing groups, we call them gangs or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
All that stuff. But you've created that life. And we just mentioned the life that you're now able to live to get your family out of a situation where you don't want them, like California. Yeah. You have created a life to get your family out of there, to be able to do what's best for your family, time frame wise, what location wise, whatever it needs to be. You created that life because 100%. Of what you saw, right?
Exactly.
And you just base it off of, this is what I saw, and I have to do X, or whatever it is.
Reverse engineer it.
To avoid that.
The pain.
Right?
Here's what's going to happen. So Pops used to say this all the time when we were growing up. He always had the funniest analogies. I'll drop a few. They were just normal to me, but when I say them to people, they die of laughter. One really good one for all the younger generations out there. If she had a different face and a different body, she could be attractive.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong, right? He was just before his time.
Have you seen the Kardashians before and afters?
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And so, to your point, there is a lot of these guys inside that just because they're locked up physically, they're not locked up mentally. We have a course. It's an entrepreneur. It's a Shark Tank style prison course. We run them through how to create a business, what to do, when to do, how to do, and like real world tangible stuff. Yeah. I don't need you to go out and get hit with $3,000 from LegalZoom, no disrespect, but you can go down to the Secretary of State. You can get your EIN online. Like, you can set this up for $110, right? And if you don't learn the process, you don't really learn anything. So we walk them through it all. Yeah. At the end of 12 weeks, we cater it. We bring in people from the outside community, business leaders, thought leaders, bankers, and they judge them Shark Tank style. It's incredible. The ideas that come out of there, man. I'll tell you one story. We'll go super deep and then we'll bring it back up to the top.
No, you're good. Go for it.
I was sitting in California Department of Corrections with a gentleman, and his business idea was first aid in the community. I thought, this is interesting. And I was probably on week 11 of 12 when I got involved, and everybody had set it up until that point. So I thought, this is interesting. There's a lot of really unique ideas that get to this point, but this one's simple, right? CPR, first aid, interesting, huh? Wild. All right. So during an intermission, I said, hey, can I talk to you about this? I want to know more. I'm missing something. There's no ego here, right? So there's got to be something that everyone else saw that I'm not seeing. And he sat me down. He said, so 41 years ago, I got picked up from school as a 7th grader from my uncle. He was involved in some gang activity. And I was sitting out front while he was inside the house, and I was doing what I do with the packs, with the drugs. And everybody came out of the house, and my uncle said, it's time to go. And there was a skirmish, there was an argument, and my uncle kept looking at me, it's time to go, it's time to go, it's time to go. And there were some guys that were coming for him, and they started shooting at him, and I shot at them.
At how old?
7th grade.
Oh, geez.
And he said, I killed one of the 2 of them. And my uncle killed the rest of them. And when the judge put me on the stand, she told me that I should have known CPR. This man carried this pain 41 years.
It's kind of a heavy thing to put on a 7th grader.
You think?
You should have known CPR,
you
young man.
Known.
Yeah, okay.
You should have known.
Yeah, you build up the community better to help the kid know. Like, what?
And it's amazing.
The judge said that to the kid? What in the?
My judge told me she was going to make an example out of me.
Oh, geez.
So you look at that, and you look at the perspective that man had 40 years later to carry this with him and to go, you know what? I'm going to take responsibility, and I'm going to try to change. But I see that all day long. You have guys, and you know them, that can't get out of bed. Yeah. Sad. Depressed. Yeah. Man, enough already. Right. Enough. Yeah. Masculinity, you and I know what we kill, we eat. That's a lost art for some reason. Yeah. It really is. It's a 4-letter word in today's world. Right. You can't say, I'm a hunter, I'm a gatherer, I'm a provider, and I'm damn proud of it. Because all of a sudden, you might be offending folks.
Oh, shit.
Growing up, my dad used to say, you have 2 options. Yeah. You're going to move into a nice neighborhood because you worked hard. You're going to marry a beautiful woman because you took care of yourself. She's going to drive a nice minivan because you wanted to take care of her. And then your neighbors are going to be jealous and hate you. Or you could not take care of yourself and go to a shitty mobile home park, and you could have some disgusting individual who you don't like to sleep next to, and your kids could disrespect you, and your neighbor's going to hate you and be jealous. Just be the first dude. This is like 5th grade driving to school with this stuff.
Yeah.
You're like,
and you remember
looking
that,
up like, dude, this dude's off his rocker.
Yeah.
But 30 years later, you're like, oh, that's right. No matter what neighborhood you move into, no matter how nice you are pulling up in your Lambo, 50% of the people go, yeah, Jeremiah does a lot for the community. He's a real solid cat. Wife's a sweetheart, works with his family. Other people are like, I hate that guy. He wears green. He's got tattoos. He's over 2. Hate him.
Yep.
And if he says guns, he's out.
I say that a lot, by the way.
A lot, right.
I love guns.
So it's one of those things where you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to be this guy. This is my authentic self because this is who I really am. This is who I really want to be. And birds of a feather, they run together.